Tonight on the South Today, H&J Smith announces plans to close the doors of its remaining department stores. A big day for the government and the country as Grant Robertson delivered his 6th budget. And an accidental miracle, could a treatment for lower back pain have cured a Dunedin woman's blindness? Kia ora, good evening, I'm Simon Henderson. It's the end of an era for an iconic Southland business chain. Invercargill residents were stunned to wake up to news this morning that department store H&J Smith was planning to close its doors after more than 120 years of business.
A shock for the Southland community. After 123 years of business, it's almost closing time for H&J Smith. The iconic department store chain is shutting up shop, leaving behind a century of retail legacy in Southland and 220 staff out of work. Group Managing Director Jason Smith announced the proposal to call time on the company's remaining stores in Invercargill, Gore and Queenstown. He says it's been an honour to serve the community from as far back as his great-grandfather who started the business.
It's like a dark cloud has entered our building. I think it's probably the nicest way to put it. There's a lot of people who've worked with us many years and they are really hurting today.
One major issue was a need for significant earthquake strengthening at the company's flagship 12,000 square metre store in Invercargill. But there's been a lot of pressure on the business. Smith says supplier constraints, COVID-19 and limits on reinvestment have taken their toll in recent years, with changes in global retail meaning the department store's no longer a sustainable enough model to meet those costs. The business previously closed its Dunedin, Mosgiel, Balclutha and Tiano stores in 2020, but Invercargill's locals are very sad to see the end in sight.
It's very gutting.
I thought H&J Smith should be there forever, you know.
It's a shame because it's pretty good for the community. Good shop, lots of good bargains in it.
I mean, your feeling's got to go out for the staff, really, more than anything.
I mean, it's an iconic store here, so it would be a shame to lose a piece of our history.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock to hear it this morning, and it would be quite sad if it does close. It's been around for all of my life and everybody else in Southland's lives, I guess. It's just part of the fabric here.
Closing the stores would see around 200 staff losing their jobs in Invercargill, with another 20 in Queenstown and 4 staff in Gore. However, the company's CEO says they're handling the news well.
They're in remarkably good shape. They're incredibly stoic. This place is a village. We promote that imagery because they've got each other's back.
The proposal now moves into a 4-week consultation process as the company figures out the next steps for the H&J Smith Group. A final decision is expected by late June. In Invercargill, the South Today.
The Transport Accident Investigation Commission has released its final reports into 2 hot air balloon hard landings in 2021 and 2022. In the first incident near Arrowtown, the hot air balloon carrying the pilot and 10 passengers was attempting its 3rd landing. The basket struck the lip of a gully leading up to the paddock, ejecting the pilot and 2 passengers from the balloon. All 3 sustained serious injuries. TAIC has recommended to the Civil Aviation Authority that pilots should always wear harnesses during critical flight phases. The government's annual budget plan was released this afternoon. Labour saying it's aimed at helping relieve the stress of the rising cost of living and invest in our future. But National claims Labour is digging the country into a deeper financial hole, saying it's fuelling their addiction to spending.
Labour MPs welcoming Grant Robertson's 6th budget as Finance Minister. The government describing its financial plan as the wellbeing budget. It'll see more than $5 billion in key new spending initiatives, many aimed at families. But the budget also forecasts 6 years of deficits, although the Finance Minister insists the government's still focused on good financial management.
Budget 2023 responds to those pressures in a targeted and responsible way, building on what we have done over recent years and in a way that will not exacerbate inflation.
Some commentators describe the spending as being squarely targeted at swinging voters. Major new initiatives include adding 2-year-olds to the 20 hours free early childhood education and pay parity for teachers. The budget also spends $327 million on free transport for primary school children and half-price fares for those under 25 years old, and the $5 co-payment for prescriptions will be abolished for everyone. Grant Robertson says the new budget aims to combat the rising cost of living after a difficult period.
It is hard to remember a time in New Zealand's history where there have been so many challenges to our economic, environmental and social systems in such a short period of time.
However, National leader Chris Luxon says the Labour government are gaslighting the country, adding to the growing amount of overspending since being in power.
Because this was presented as the no-frills budget, but what we've got today is the blowout budget.
ODT political editor Mike Houlihan doesn't think the 2023 budget will get the pulse racing, with no massive cuts or big funding programs.
Very much a budget where the government has decided households are having to tighten their belts. The government's tightening its belt as well, or at least that's the message they're trying to sell to the electorate.
The budget will also add another 1,800 police officers, $864 million towards disability support services, and what the government claims is the biggest funding increase towards tertiary education in 20 years. Across the South Today.
A national campaign promoting road safety awareness is teaching children as young as 6 years old how to keep safe on New Zealand roads.
Staff from Becker and Fulton Hogan visited around 70 Year 2 pupils from Fairfield Primary School as part of this year's Road Safety Week. The children were given a range of fun games and activities, helping them engage and learn ways of becoming more aware around busy roads. The pupils were treated to a roadworks truck and colourful safety equipment displays, learning the importance of general road safety and celebrating the heroes in the community who keep our roads safe. Those involved in the campaign believe it's important to educate young kids and get the message out as early as possible.
You can't start too young with road safety and awareness, and the sooner these kids appreciate and understand where they can how they can act safely around roads and roadsides, and also around roadworks, will just to help them as they develop.
The Fairfield School also held a fundraiser with the goal of getting enough money to build a bike track around the perimeter of the school. The campaign isn't stopping here. It'll continue visiting schools across the country with the goal of keeping children safe on the roads. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Research study treating lower back pain may also have accidentally cured a case of blindness in a surprise twist of fate. The vision of one Dunedin woman has returned after being treated with electrical currents, with doctors calling it an accidental miracle.
This setup looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, but Lynley Hood is at the forefront of medical research. The Dunedin author had suffered from a rare form of glaucoma for more than a decade, causing her vision to be seriously impaired. Hood had countless doctor's appointments about the loss of central vision in her left eye, but was told the damage was already done.
I was given the message that once you get a serious eye disorder, it's not going to get better. We'd just try and sort of stop it getting worse.
After fracturing her pelvis in a fall at home, she decided to take part in an Otago University research study to treat lower back pain. The study involved sending electrical currents to stimulate the brain. Hood was part of the placebo group, which saw electrical currents only sent through the scalp. But to her surprise and delight, the brain stimulation sessions improved her eyesight, shocking friends when they went out for brunch.
I made my order, and Elizabeth said, "Lynley, can you read that menu?" And so I said, "Yeah, I think my sight's improved."
Even the researchers and doctors are amazed, calling it an accidental miracle.
She received a placebo stimulation, so that's where we are a little bit surprised, and we want to investigate this further.
Researchers found the currents travelled into the retinal cells of Hood's eyes, sending messages to the visual part of the brain. The research team is now planning a new study to investigate how brain stimulation might help improve low vision for other people. In Dunedin, the South Today.
E whai ake nei, still to come on the South Today. Ashburton's on a roll with Wheels Week Plus, and two high school rugby teams lock horns in their annual inter-school clash.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with 0 deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. From Honda.
Snap up a deal this weekend! My mate John's taken 50% off selected furniture and beds, plus 20% off everything else! Only at John's Furniture Warehouse. My mate John.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Welcome back. Otago Boys High School students are celebrating their dominance over Southland Boys High in their annual inter-school sports tournament in Invercargill. Otago Boys triumphed in the basketball, hockey and football, although the big rugby clash went down to the wire.
The rain and mud couldn't dampen the spirit in Invercargill as Southland Boys High First 15 squared off against Otago Boys High on Wednesday. The grudge match is part of an annual winter competition between the two schools, also featuring basketball, football and hockey.
Good to see. I mean, it's been a battle for many years, Southland Boys, Otago Boys. It's an old rivalry and everyone just comes and enjoys the game and the day.
And the day certainly wasn't ruined by the weather, supporters turning up in their masses to watch the game.
Yeah, just supporting the boys, getting out, loving a bit of footy.
We're up right now, hopefully keep it that way. I'm sure we'll get the dub.
And get the dub they did. Otago Boys taking the win with a final score of 21-19, leaving Southland Boys disappointed but ready to bring the heat again next year. In Invercargill, the South Today.
One of Ashburton's big annual events, Wheels Week Plus, has rolled into the South Canterbury town. Pupils at a local primary school were among the first to join in the fun, getting together for a good old-fashioned wheelie good time.
An opportunity to ride colourful scooters, bikes and skateboards around the school playground. Pupils at Tynwald School decorated their wheels last week for a fun day as part of the Wheels Week Plus festival. It's an annual tourism event for Ashburton that started back in 1990, drawing visitors for an extravaganza of wheels spanning 3 decades. Tynwald School Principal Peter Livingston was tasked with being safety monitor, but got to join in the celebrations on his electric scooter.
We just thought that we would have a bit of fun with wheels on a Friday and join in some of the community events that happen around Ashburton as part of Wheels Week Plus.
The school kids also had an afternoon parade to show off their rides. Wheels Week Plus features a range of events, including the street sprints, speedway and family bike rides, and winds up this weekend. In Ashburton, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Southland's H&J Smith announces plans to close its last 3 department stores after more than 120 years in business. Finance Minister Grant Robertson delivers a budget aimed at helping families and easing the rising costs of living. And a Dunedin woman has got her vision back. A research study treating lower back pain could have accidentally cured her limited sight. Now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT with editor Barry Stewart. Welcome along.
G'day Simon. Well, the budget, we can't go far past that, so it certainly dominates the paper tomorrow. So everything you need to know about the budget 23 is in the paper. We have a speed read to, at a glance, give you an idea of what's happening, where all the money's going, and we have a more in-depth look at some of the key stories like prescriptions and free bus rides and tertiary funding. So some of those issues will be covered there. Kim Dungy in Inside Out section looks inside a new Wanaka home, so another good property feature there. And the sports lift out focuses on the relationship between the Nuggets and the Perth Wildcats basketball franchise, and it's working well, certainly for the Nuggets. So interesting partnership there. So yeah.
Look forward to reading all that tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, Simon.
Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, we'll see unsettled weather with rain tomorrow and strong winds on Saturday. Heading to the top of the South Island, Nelson has strong northeasterlies and heavy rain, a high of 15 degrees. Greymouth looking rain with gustily northerlies, a high of 14. Christchurch also has rain with moderate southwesterlies, a cooler 12 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, Ashburton, Timaru and Oamaru will all experience moderate easterlies with some rain later, a high of 13 across the board. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, Wanaka and Queenstown are looking at cloudy skies and high easterlies, a high of 11. Alexandra looking much the same with moderate easterlies, cloudy and a high of 11. Heading further south, Balclutha and Gore are seeing moderate easterlies and a few showers, a high of 8 for Balclutha, 7 for Gore. In the Catlins there's moderate easterlies and rain later, a high of 11 degrees. And across to the deep south in Invercargill is cloudy tonight with light winds, a low of 8. It's mostly dry with heavy cloud tomorrow, moderate easterly winds, a high of 13 and a low of 10 tomorrow night. Saturday is looking overcast with showers, fresh to strong gusty southeasterlies developing and temperatures becoming colder, a high of 11 and a low of 7 degrees. Finally, in Dunedin, there is low cloud and fog tonight with light winds and a low of 10. Friday sees mist and fog clearing in the morning, but low cloud remaining. Light winds at first and moderate easterly quarter winds developing during the afternoon, with periods of rain by late afternoon. A high of 13 and a low of 9. Saturday will be overcast with periods of rain and strong southerly quarter winds developing. It's looking rather cold with a high of 11 and a low of 8. And that's the news this Thursday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. Follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. And on Facebook, search for The South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Ka kite a papu.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.